Hello, my name is Garrett Jones, and I'm a bassist with the Arkansas Philharmonic Orchestra. Today we're going to be looking at two separate selections from Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, second movement. If you have any questions, I suggest that you follow the recommendations of your teachers. Okay, lots of A flat major in this piece. Also, tons of bow management. We need to be able to play a lot of notes with long sustained bows, but dictating rhythms with our left hand. So that's what's going on with this. A good way to practice this might be to practice A flat major. Start off with maybe groupings of two. Stuff like that. Maybe move it up to four. Things like that. Move it up to eight and beyond. So you just keep on slurring more and more notes to those bows. At the very beginning of this piece, we got so that little turn. I'm doing that just kind of pulling off with my left hand. So that's kind of the idea behind that. Same thing, it's real important. Start off with a down bow on this. The first entire half of this, just follow the actual bowings that are marked. So it's going to be down bow for that first slur, up bow for the second, continuing on with that pattern. High D flat, so we get to 1, 2, 3, 4 measures. So the last measure in that top system. I'm trying to get that fourth finger D flat. When we get down to that F to the G, I'm actually playing that on my D string. So instead of trying to do a bouncing back and forth thing, that's going to be really hard for us. So instead, just go ahead and make that shift up. We're going to play F to G. So those are the last two notes on that very top line. We're going to play those closed on the D string. To be up, actually. So see how that works? Okay. Beyond there, we use open Gs to our advantage, measure 118. Yeah. So dynamic here is forte, so we can play this out quite a bit too. How we're going to make that happen is we're going to keep quite a bit of pressure in and keep really fairly close to the bridge. That we don't have to use a whole lot of bow. Bow speed is not going to be advantageous to us for this. We need a slow bow speed, but we're going to compensate by adding pressure and proximity to the bridge to compensate for that. Another trap we might fall into would probably happen, I guess it'd be a measure before the fermata. So when we have that dotted quarter note, make sure we're counting that for the full 3 beats. So it's not very fast. We're looking, they were saying the 8th note equals about 88 to 92. So just keeping that very metronomic. But when you get to that, we need to be counting 1, 2, 3 versus the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4s that we had before, right? There's a fermata. We can hold that out as long as we like. So when we get to that arrival point, 2. Okay. Beyond there, we move down here past 176 in E towards the bottom half. We're starting off pianissimo, right? So we be very, 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 very quiet. And that's actually going to be advantageous to us because we don't have to use a lot of bow speed, a lot of pressure. We can be playing closer, maybe not all the way up over the fingerboard, but we can actually play back just a little bit. So, sorry. Yeah. We're going to try to group that entire first group though together as up bow, Then when we get to the low D flat, about 3 measures into that phrase, we're going to switch to a down bow, and then the next measure is going to be up bow. So here, I'll play it for you real quick. So watch the bowings on this. If we need to find another way to like break that up even more, we could actually make that happen if we needed to. We're just trying to get to a down bow when we get to those low A flats that are fortissimo. So anyways, so we could do like maybe we're crescendoing through all that, right? So as we play that, we're gonna move a little bit closer to the bridge, a little more weight in those bows as well. But if you need to break that up, I personally would not have a problem with that. So just don't make it super obvious if you do. That makes sense. When we get to these low A flats that are fortissimo, we need to have those be very, very crisply defined. So we're thinking, we're not using a whole lot of bow. We're just using a little tiny bit at the balance point. Almost kind of a spiccato stroke, just not quite. So they still have a little bit of daylight between them. They're very poppy. So we're looking for that poppy sort of sound on each one of those. So we can slow that down. So making sure I'm getting that weight in the bow, getting that pressure in, making sure I have control of that bow, and I put that lateral motion in. And it's just a small little bit. And as soon as I do that, I just release that weight off the bow just a little bit. Same thing for that bow. Getting control of it, and then we put that weight and lateral motion in. So we just start with slow strokes like that. Kind of work from there. That's kind of the popping sound that we're looking for. Fingerings on this aren't super crazy until we start getting towards the end. So let's look at measure 191. So we got we're kind of treating that like an A flat major scale. We have a D natural in there though that we need to watch out for at the very beginning. So be noticing that accidental. Another trap we're going to fall into is when we play the end of that phrase. We need to be sure we're counting to 3 when we have the 1, 2. So we have a sforzando on that high E flat. So we need to have a lot of weight, a lot of speed on that attack. Okay. Hold that out for a full 3 beats. So 1, 2, 2, 3. We're gonna have a bow lift at this point as well. So we're gonna reset for that C. We're gonna play a C second finger in the A flat. 4, 1, 2, shift up. 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 2, 1, 4. Might be a fingering or 2. Sorry. 2, 1. Those all work really well for playing that A flat major scale without having to shift back in first and half positions. So try out that fingering and see if that works for you guys. So it'll be 2, 1, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 1, 4. Anyways. So I'm going to play this a little bit slower. The bowings may not entirely line up just because it's going to be really hard to play really slow, right? So, but for left hand and just kind of rhythms, we can be thinking of it this way. So maybe this will help you all. So here's it really, really slow. Some of these bowings may be broken up though, just because it's hard to play this without it going by really fast. Okay, so we're going to try to play this slow. We're going to break these into groupings of 4 for time being with the bow hand. So it's not how we're actually going to play it, but it's going to be good just for left hand practice and getting these notes right. So here's it just really nice and slow. hopefully that'll get your left hand notes. I figured on that. We're going to do kind of the same thing down here at E. These are going to be really hell out of playing it that slow. So anyways, that's kind of the nutshell for left hand. So one more time at tempo. Here we go. 2, 3.